Hello, good morning. My name is Joel Good, and today you're going to learn how to read a drill chart. We're going to start today using a popular drill writing software. This is called Piware. This may be what your drill chart looks like if your director is using a computerized drill chart, but it should be pretty similar even if he's handwriting what you have. What you're going to start with is an overview of the entire football field. So you can see here that we have all the yard lines laid out from 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way up to the 50, and then the numbers go down as you go towards the next end zone. The field is laid out into a couple different points besides the yard lines. You'll notice up front here, there's this line that is the front sideline. This vantage point would be as the director sees it, or as the audience or drum major would see it. So as you're reading the drill charts, it may help sometimes to kind of flip them upside down, turn with your back to the stands, and hold it from that viewpoint. In addition to the front sideline, you're also going to see that there are several sets of hashes. This hash line right here, the hash marks run right through the yard line markers. This will be the front hash. The back hash is back here, and then the back sideline at the very back of the field. Now, on a high school football field, these hash marks are going to be a total of 28 steps from the front sideline. And we'll explain more of that here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this chart, and then you can see a little bit more what we're talking about. Now each drill chart is going to contain a set of information. Somewhere there may be a text box like this, or at the top of the page. It's going to tell you the set number. This is set number 14. The number of counts it takes to get there, 6 counts, and then maybe the measures in the music where this occurs. Again, this is the zoomed in version, but you can see here's the front sideline, the hash running right there through the middle of the numbers. Now, this is a 22.5-inch grid system, which is the size of one step. So as we go back to the front sidelines, there's a number of big grid points. First of all, of course, the solid black line here is the yard line. You may have a practice field with dots on it in between the yard lines. That's this blue kind of line here. Every 4 steps, you may have a dot, or sometimes every 2 steps. These blue boxes would be 4-step boxes all the way around. So here'd be a box right there. That'd be 4 steps. And you'd have a total of 7 of them right down between the front hash mark and the front sideline. That'll give you a total of 28 steps. You'll also notice these small boxes here inside of the larger boxes, right? Those are 1-step intervals. Those are 1-step intervals. So as you go along here, just these tiny, they may be gray on your drill chart, but just these tiny boxes, it's important to notice that those are 1-step intervals. You will be assigned a symbol as well as a number. On this drill chart, we've just chosen to use X's, and then you can see up top here there's these numbers that kind of stick out, 1 through 11 in this case. When you're handed your drill chart, the first thing you want to do is try to find out where your position is. So let's start with an easy one. We're going to look here at X7. First thing you need to do is decide where you are in relation to the closest yard line. X7 has it really easy. They're directly on the 50-yard line as you look back. So they don't need to go to one side or the other. They're right on the 50-yard line. And then we're going to count the number of steps back. Again, this box right here is a 4-step box. So, knowing that, X7 is 4 steps back from the front sideline. If you want to use the small boxes, you could. 1, 2, 3, 4, and directly on the 50-yard line. Let's look at another example. X4 back here. X4, again, you start with how far away you are from the yard line. They're right on the 40-yard line. Really easy. Okay. but they're closer to this front side, or the front hash mark, than they are the front sideline. So, counting from the front sideline, they would be a total of 3 large boxes up, right? There's 1, 2, 3. And if you remember that those are 4-step boxes, that would be 4, 8, 12 steps off the front hash mark and right on the 40-yard line. Those two are easy since they're right on the yard line. What happens if you're not on the yard line? Let's take a look here at x5. Now, looking at x5, again, the first thing you need to do is decide how close you are to the nearest yard line. So the nearest yard line is the 40-yard line. And then as you're looking at this from the director's viewpoint, you'll notice that they are a total of 1, 2, 3 steps, what we call inside the 40-yard line. You also might notice if you have a row of dots here in between the 40 and the 45, they'd be 1 step off the dot in that direction. So you know you're somewhere on that plane, and then you have to figure out how far you are in relation to a sideline or a hash mark. And in this case, it works out evenly between both of them. Okay, as we count back, you have 1 box, 2, 3, so that's a total of 12, and then 2 tiny boxes. So you're going to be back from the front sideline a total of 14 steps. Again, you could count all the little boxes if you have to, but use these as kind of a shortcut. Let's try one for practice. Let's go with x8 over here. First question is, what's the closest yard line that you are to, and how far away are you? Hopefully you figured it out by now. You're closest to the 45-yard line, and you are 1 and kind of a half steps, 1.5 steps. You're going to go to the center of the X, 1.5 steps away from the 45-yard line. Next question you need to ask is, how close am I to the nearest horizontal marker, the front sideline or the back hash? Closest to the front sideline, and you can count backwards. Here's 4, 8, and 1 small box, 9 steps back from the front sideline. Hopefully this has been a helpful tutorial. Happy drill chart reading.